Hey everybody, this is another tutorial for web design and CSS, and today we are learning how to incorporate some multimedia elements into our web page using HTML and CSS. So to kind of get things started, I just made a folder that I'm calling multimedia site, and then inside of the folder I have two other folders. One of them is called audio and one of them is called images. And for the images, I just grabbed 7 images from unsplash.com, place where you can get free images and you don't have to give copyright information or anything like that. It's all free use legally and all that stuff. So I like to use that site quite a bit. So I have like 7 images in there, and then I made one image into just a banner. I just cropped it and typed in multimedia demo. I don't even know the size of it. I just typed it in there with some Century Gothic typeface, and then I cropped it around and just saved it. Okay, so you may want to make that stuff already and kind of have those things downloaded. And when you download the images from Unsplash, the file names are pretty long, and so I renamed them all to image 1, image 2, image 3, so forth, so that way when I'm typing my code it's not a hassle trying to remember all that other stuff and get all the characters right and those kind of things, and they're all JPEGs in this case. So I'm going to go back up one level, and then in the audio I just found a song from this bensound.com, royalty free music by Ben Sound, and there was a song called Creative Minds that I just thought I would use for this, so I downloaded it. The attributes on the link told me to give credit to Ben Sound and where you can download it from, so I will include that in my site for this. But I just wanted one sound, and this is a place where you can do it. If you're just practicing this at home and you're not putting it online, you can kind of use whatever you have at home, but since I'm putting this as a tutorial, I'm making sure everything is following the rules for all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we got multimedia site, we have audio, we have images, folders, and I think we are about ready to get started, I think. So in Notepad++, I'm going to go File and Save As, and I'm going to go to this desktop on here, and what did I call that? Multimedia site. I'm going to go in there, and I'm just going to call this index. And when you're using Notepad++, make sure that you go down here and find the hypertext markup language file type HTML. Click on that, and index, that is the name of my home page here, and then this is on here. So I'm going to click save. Alright, and I'm just going to get started with just the HTML first, and then we'll do the CSS last. So here we go. Just like we've started all of our websites with this kind of stuff. Doc type, HTML. Alright, and then we got our HTML tag. And then down here I'm going to make sure I close my HTML tag. Okay, and then up here we'll type in the head tag, and then down here we'll go with the head tag down there, and inside that we need to put in our metachar set equals quotation marks, and then in the quotation marks UTF-8, Okay. And yeah, we're pretty good with that, I think. Actually, then we can also go up here, go to title, and we'll close the title. And in between here, we are going to just call this multimedia site. Alright. Now this thing's kind of bothering me. Yeah, sometimes this happens. I don't know why. Maybe somebody out there can tell me why. Maybe because it's an old version of Notepad++ I'm using. But I went to the thing. I selected hypertext markup language. Sometimes if you try to run that and it just shows code in your browser, I guess make sure it says as hypertext markup language, but then in the file name, I guess you manually type in HTML. No, then I don't know why you'd have that option down there. Okay, but this is what you want your code to look like with Notepad++. If you're using something else, you probably didn't run into that problem. So if I launch in Chrome now, multimedia site up here, and I don't have anything else on my page, so that's fine. Okay, so we got the head section of the web page done. Alright, so then we're going to go put in the body tag, and I'll go ahead and close that down here. And underneath the body tag, I'm going to put in a header. Okay, and then underneath the header I'm going to put in a nav. Alright, and then after that I'm going to put in, I just like, when I know ahead of time what I'm going to do, I like putting all my elements in first, you know. Close the section here. And let's see, what else did I want to put in here? Probably after the section, we're just going to have one section with this. And then down here, we'll go with the footer. Okay. So, real simple, right? We have the body here, we have a place for the header, a place for the nav bar, a place for our content, and then the footer at the end. Alright. So, we can go up here to the header now, and let's put in our code. So, for this one, I'm going to use that banner of that image that I cropped from Unsplash that I showed you earlier. Okay, you could just put text up here, but since this is a multimedia site demo, I want to use images and you know, interactive kind of things. So for the header here, I'm going to put in IMG class because we're putting in an image, and I'm going to say equals banner. I'm going to call it banner. And then I'm going to go src is equal to, and then now I need to put where that image is saved from. So it's in my images folder, and then slash, and I called it banner.jpg. Alright, and then close my quotation marks after that. And then I like to give it the alternate name, so alt equals quotation marks, and I'm just going to call this header banner image quotation marks. Alright, so we should be pretty good with that, I think. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to refresh over here, and my multimedia banner is showing up. So far so good. Alright. Okay, then over here in the nav section, I'm trying to think. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead in here and I'm going to put in a class inside of this. This is going to be kind of listed as multiple things, so I'm going to push this nav tag down out of the way a little bit so it doesn't distract me. And in here, I'm going to put our first thing in here. I'm going to give this a div class equals quotation marks top nav. Okay, is what we'll call this, and we'll refer to it as that in our CSS document in a moment. And then after that, I'm going to put in some links. Okay, so this is back from our hyperlink tutorial. We go a space href equals, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in both sets of quotation marks here, but I'm just going to leave them blank for now. And then after that, I'm going to put in actually, yeah, we can leave that right there. Okay, and then I'm going to put in we want to do this one a little bit different since this will be our first one. So let's go index.html. Okay, so this will be the link to like our home page, even though we're already on the home page. And then after that, we'll go class is equal to active, and then I'm going to type in home, and then I'm going to close that A tag. Okay, and so ultimately what we're doing with this one is on our links, we want our index button to stand out a little bit different because we'll be on our index, and so it'll kind of tell you what page you're currently on, and you'll be able to kind of see how that works with everything. Okay, so then after that, now we can go with a space href, and we'll go equals, and I'm just going to go page.html. And we're not actually going to build pages for all of these in our tutorial. We're just using this as a demonstration, okay? And then we're going to go page, and then we are going to close up the A tag. Okay, and now, just to save myself some time, I'm going to copy that, and we're going to paste that a couple more times. And then now I am going to change these names. So I'm going to call this one page 2, and then here I'm going to put in page 2, page 3, page 3, page 4, and page 4. And that's my navigation right now. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this, and obviously it's not going to look very good because we haven't put any style with this yet. So that's what that is. And we're done with the nav bar for now. So now moving down into the section, and then we're going to put in most of our multimedia elements in here. And so I'm just going to label these. I'm going to call this one a H1, use a H1 tag for some nice big text. Okay, and in this first one, I'm going to type in image. Okay, and this is still in the section here. Okay, so I have an image type there, and now I want to use my tag of how we would normally put in an image, and we've done this a few times, so this is kind of a review for this one, but in case you just started with this tutorial, it'll be good info for you. So img class equals, and I'm going to call this photograph, src is equal to quotation marks, and I just want to type in here like what I did above, images slash, and then whichever of those pictures I have saved in that folder. Remember, I called mine image 1 through 7 or whatever it was, so I'm going to call this one, I'm just going to call image 1 right here, just to be easy. Alright, so images slash image1.jpg. Okay, then alt equals, and I'm going to type in here image for multimedia site. Okay, and close that all up. And I think up here after this one I want to take that out. Here we go. Alright, so here we have this. I'm going to refresh my screen here. Nice image from Unsplash showing up on my screen. Sweet. Okay. So in the same section now, and I could have done these all in separate sections, but just for to make it easier and to make the tutorial a little shorter, let's go ahead now and put in a sound, alright, or an audio. So in here I'm going to use my H1 tag again, like what I did before, and again this is just for labeling it, you know, so when we look at our demonstration, oh, here's, it says image and here's the image, you know. So this one I'm going to type in sound and go below this, and here is a thing I found of how you can put sound into your web page. So I'm going to type in audio controls, and then underneath that, source space src is equal to quotation marks, and in the quotation marks it's similar to what we did before. This is in my sound I saved was in my audio folder, so I'm going to put in audio, and then I am going to type in the name of the sound. So this one was called Ben Sound hyphen Creative Minds.mp3. Okay, so there's that on there, and then I want to go type equals quotation marks audio slash mpeg, because that's the audio type it is, and then underneath that we type in your browser does not support the audio element, so it'll show that if your audio doesn't support it. Okay, and then underneath that I can close out my audio tag, so that's good. And underneath that audio tag I'm just going to, in small text here, I'm going to put in a tag here for paragraph, and I'm just going to put in this song Creative Minds can be downloaded free at bensound.com. So I have the file in there, and that's why I kept this name the same, because they gave an example of how to post the song from their website, so I left the file name the same so there wouldn't be any issues with that. And then down here I'm letting the people know what the song's called and where it can be downloaded for free at. So we have that on there. Another thing I might do as well is, like before this sound, just to kind of break this stuff apart, above sound I'm just going to put in a HR for my horizontal rule, and then before my sound, yes, I'm going to do that before my sound, and then the next thing I'm going to have on here, I'm going to put another one of these after my sound. And then our next thing we're going to put in is our slideshow. So I'm just following the same kind of formatting thing that we were doing. And we'll call this slideshow. And there's a lot of ways you can do slideshows. I found this the other day when I was looking through some stuff online, and I liked it because you can just make the slideshow using HTML and CSS. You don't have to have any other code. So we're just sticking to the things that we're learning about in class this term. Thought that would be easier, and it works pretty slick. So slideshow, and then I'm going to give this div ID equals slideshow, and then underneath that I'm going to give this div class equals slide hyphen wrapper. Okay, and then underneath that we're now ready for the actual images. So div class equals quotation marks, and it is a slide, so we're just going to call it a slide. They're all going to be slides. And then to the right of that we're going to put in img class equals quotation marks photograph, and we are going to go src equals quotation marks, and we've done this with our other image, right? So images slash image2.jpg quotation marks, and then I'm going to go alt equals, and for my alternate thing, if there was a broken link, it's just going to say image for slideshow. Okay, and then after that we can close out that div. Okay, so this one was for this slide. So I'm going to go underneath that now, and I'm going to do this. So I have, that's for image 2. This one's going to be for 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I pasted that multiple times, and then here I'm just going to change this one here. This is image 3. Everything else is going to stay the same. This one is image 4. This one's image 5. This one is image 6. Okay, so here's our slideshow with these images. It's including 2 through 6. So the demonstration I saw was set up for 5 slides. There's some things you can do to play around with the code that, you know, where you can change that up, but I'm just going with the demonstration that I saw. Okay, so there's that one, and then I need to close up those other divs from up here from our slideshow and our slide wrapper. So div, that closes up the slide wrapper. Div, this one closes up the slideshow. Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to hit enter a few times. HR, we're almost done with the HTML here, so that's good. Oh, and let's check it out over here. So here's our audio, okay, that we had from before. In our slideshow, because we haven't done our CSS, you know, this is our pictures that we're using. Okay, so we put this HR down here, and we're going to just put in a YouTube video, alright, to embed. So I'm going to go H1 close the H1 video. Okay, and then I'm going to go div. In my brackets here, I'm going to go div class equals quotation marks video underscore container. And after that, I'm going to put in another bracket, iframe space src equals quotation marks, and this is going to be the link where you get the embed code from YouTube. Okay, so if you ever go into YouTube and you go to share a video, and you can share it by email or whatever, one of them is an embedded code. One is one of the options, and you can copy the link from that. And so this is a http://www.youtube.com/embed/zt underscore, I wrote this down, lowercase e, capital T, underscore T1KPG. Okay, so we have that on there. Now I can close up that bracket, and then I can close up my iframe, and I can close up the div tag. Okay, so we got that. Let's give it the old college try here. Okay, and we got the video down there. It's just one of those videos that code.org puts out for Hour of Code. What is creativity? So, all right, and then the last thing we have here in the footer, I'm just going to put in a paragraph in here, and I'm going to say this website was created by me, and then I'm going to use the old just the entity code here and copy 2019. Alright, so save it, look over here, and then down here's the footer. Okay, so that's the web page. It is not really that great, you know, it's just the everything all lined up on the left hand side, so we need to style this thing and make it look nice. So I'm going to go up to File and New, okay, and open up a new tab, and I'm going to I'm going to just save this right away, File, Save As, and I have that non-HTML file up there, geez. I want to find the file type that says Cascading Style Sheet, and I'm going to call this styles.css, and this is just in my multimedia site folder again, okay? Alright, and then I'm going to go, so I have both of these, okay? I am going to go back to index, and up here at the top, underneath where I have my title, I can go ahead and put it here. I need to put a link for my CSS document. So I'm going to type in link space href equals quotation marks, and we called it styles.css space, and then rel equals quotation marks, and this is style sheet, and then type is equal to quotation marks, and this would be text /CSS. Alright, sweet. So we got that on there. Now I'm going to go back to my styles, and I'm gonna stay on this one for a while. Not too long. We just have to make rules for all of our elements, okay? So at the top, I always like to put a little documentation of my CSS document, so that way I know what it's for, you know. So I'm just gonna type in CSS document for multimedia site tutorial template by B. Peterson. So we have that on there. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and start with our formatting. So the first thing I want to format in this case is going to be the body. Okay, I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go background color first, and just using these hex values, A8 DLE7. You can find hex values online when you're looking for certain colors and stuff like that. Okay, and then I end the thing with the semicolon. Okay, I'm going to go margin right. I'm really struggling typing with a colon, and I'm going to put in here 15% semicolon. I'm going to go margin left 15%, and I'm going to go width 70%. Okay, I'm done with those. So now I can close with my bracket. Remember when we were in CSS, we use these fancier looking brackets. Alright, so I'm going to hit refresh here. And this is looking pretty good. My background color pound sign, maybe that is what is 8A8 DLE7. I'll look back at that later and see. Okay, so we got that on there. After that, I want to do something with this header to where it is the actual size that it's supposed to be, you know. So let's take a look at that and see how this will work. Alright, so we have dot banner, because that was the name that we gave to it. And I'm going to go width colon 100%. And don't forget the semicolon. Alright, so I'm going to hit refresh. And so we look at this up here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. The margins are 15, the body is 70%, and the banner is 100% of the 70% width of the body, since the banner is found inside the body. So that's starting to look a little better. Alright, now the next thing we have, and I just like going right down the line here, so I'm going to go with the home page here, and we have this. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to go here to body space nav. I'm use my bracket on this. And when I hit enter, and then I'm going to type in, I want the width to be 100%, semicolon. I want the background hyphen color to be pound 222222, and then I want the color of the text to be FFFFFF. And then underneath that, we're just going to give this a different typeface just to show you where we would do that. Fonts family, everybody's favorite, Helvetica. Alright, so we have that, and then I'm going to close this bracket. Okay, so we open it up, and we still have these links here, which we're going to do something about in a little bit. I'm going to change up here on my background color up here. I'm going to see what that does if I change. There we go. It was a 1, not an L. Okay. So here we go. We did the body nav for those main styles. Now we're going to edit a part of the body nav, just the part that we classed as a top nav. Okay, so I'm going to go dot top nav, a fancy bracket. Okay, and then what's going to happen when I go over those A tags, or what do I want them to do or to look like? So I'm going to go color, and again I'm going to go pound FFFFFF. I'm going to go padding left. I want to be 5 pixels. Padding hyphen right. I want also to be 5 pixels. This is stuff you can always tinker and play around with. This is just for a demonstration that I'm showing you, obviously. And then I'm going to go text hyphen decoration blink. Okay, so now when I refresh this here, now my text is wide in there. It doesn't, by taking that text decoration into blink, we have no more underlined blue hyperlinks on there. Okay. Now if I click on home, you know I'm home. That one works. But obviously I don't have those other pages, you know, but the hyperlinks do work if you made your other pages and you called them page234.html, you know, it would go to those. So there's that. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to give an effect for when we move the mouse over these links. So top nav space a colon hover. And then when I hit enter, I'm going to say I want the background hyphen color to be pound E8554E, and I want the text color to be pound FFFFFF. Alright. Save that. I'm going to refresh this over here, and now when I mouse over it changes the background color of those images. So it's, I have a little multimedia, kind of an interactive kind of feature for it, for these links. You could have it to where the letters grow. You know, there's all sorts of different things you can do, but this is just an easy one to show you here. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to have it to where whatever link is active, which in this case our home page is active from our HTML code, I want this one to stand out different so people know what page they're currently on. Okay, so going down here, I'm going to go dot top nav space dot active And I'm going to go background color, and I'm just going to use that pound E8554E. And for the color of the text, I'm going to have it be just what we've been doing, pound FFFFFF. Alright. So we got that, saving it, refresh, and the home tab is highlighted, you know, and then it kind of follows that same theme, just with this using similar colors from the images and whatnot. Okay, so enough of that navigation system. Jeez. So next on our deal here is our image, obviously, right? So I'm going to go to I actually want to give my section a background color of pound FFFFFF. I'm going to have it be white. Okay, so now it's starting to kind of come together a little bit more. Now obviously we can totally see now that the next thing we need to work on here is our dot photograph. And our dot photograph, we're going to give a width of 100%. Okay, so we'll refresh that. That's fitting in there very good. Looks nice. The sound, like when you play this, I don't know if that audio's coming through at all, but I have on my screencaster deal to where the computer sound isn't supposed to be playing, so I don't know. But if you play the song, obviously that's on there. We don't really have to do a lot for styling on that. So moving down now to the slideshow. And the slideshow, I'm going to go # slideshow. Okay. Oops. And with this, I'm going to put in overflow hidden. And I'm going to have the height be 510 pixels. I'm going to have the width be 728 pixels. And I'm going to have the margin be 0 auto. And this is just what gets these pictures to fit in there from a demonstration I saw. Okay, so you can play around with those, and depending on what you want your page to look like. Okay. After that, then I'm going to go dot slide hyphen wrapper, and I'm going to go with overflow hidden. Or no, I'm sorry, I was wrong thing. I'm going to go width is 2912px, 2912px, and then I'm going to go hyphen webkit hyphen animation slide 18s ease infinite. And I'm going to close that one up. Okay, and then we have our slides themselves. So I'm going to put in dot slide. Okay, float left, height This is the same values, 510 px by width 728 px, so that it fits in the slideshow itself. Okay, and then we're going to close that one up, and then we have these values for our keyframe slides. So I go at hyphen webkit hyphen keyframes space slide. Okay, and then after that I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go 20%, and then fancy brackets, and in here I'm going to go margin hyphen left colon space 0 px semicolon. Okay, and then we're going to use this actually 7 times, and then change the values so we don't have to type in all that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so then going from the left hand side here, this one, the second one's going to be 30, then we're going to go 50, then we're going to go 60, then we're going to go 70, and then we're going to go 80, and then we're going to go 90. Okay, then margin left is going to be the same on all these, but this first one, you know, is 0 px. I typed in O, but 0. Okay, then the second one is going to be negative 728 px. Okay, then the third one is also going to be negative 728 px. Then the next one is going to be negative 1456. Okay, then the next one is also going to be negative 1456. Then our last two, negative 2184, and then down here negative 2184. Okay, and then down here we can now close that bracket. That's a lot of stuff for the slideshow. When we refresh this, it's pretty cool. It just slides by itself, and that's just HTML and CSS. You know, you don't have to worry about any of the other kind of plugins or anything like that, and then it loops back to the beginning again. I think it's pretty decent. So something for you to possibly use if you so choose, and it's centered nice in here. When we get more into responsive sites later, we can make that fit better, because as of right now everything else fits in here real nicely, but that slideshow sticks out at the end, you know, so we'd have to do something with that later. But you know, it's not the worst thing, especially for this where we're just learning about how to incorporate some multimedia and that stuff. Okay, so almost done wrapping this thing up here. We have that YouTube video, so we called that dot video underscore container, and we're going to go position colon relative semicolon. We're going to go padding hyphen bottom colon space 56.25% semicolon, and then we're going to go padding hyphen top colon 30 pixels, and then we're going to go height is 0, and we're going to go overflow as hidden. Okay, and then we can close that up, and then we have one more element for this video, and that is for the iframe and the dot underscore video underscore container object. We're going to put in border colon none. We're going to go position colon absolute, and we're going to put in top colon 0, and we're going to go left colon 0, and we're going to go width 100%, and then we're going to go height 100%, and we'll close that one up. Sweet. Okay, so that's there. Let me save this. Check this out. Nice. Alright, so we got our little video here. Okay, and then the last thing that we have here to worry about is our footer, and we're obviously not going to do too much with this one because it's not multimedia, but we'll just go body footer, and then we'll go width colon is going to be 100% so that it fits in there. Font hyphen style is going to be italic, and then we're going to go text hyphen align is going to be center. Oh, I forgot my semicolon up here. There we go. Okay, and then we can close that bracket out. Holy cow, man. Alright, so save, hit refresh on this, and we got the footer down there just at the end. Hey, so that's our tutorial for today. We used HTML to create our web page, and we put in some elements in there, some things with kind of an interactive navigation type of thing that does more than just letting you click on it. It kind of follows your mouse around, and it lets you know currently where you're at. We talked about having the banner and how to adjust that. We put in an image and we fit it to this. We put in an an audio. We put in a bunch of images and made a slideshow, and then incorporated a video. So maybe your web page, when you start making these, is going to have all of these elements. Maybe it's going to have a few of them, but you know, we've come a long ways from just using our text and all those kind of simple things in lists to having some plain images to now where we can have a decent multimedia strategy for your webpage. So thanks for watching. Sorry this went pretty long, but hopefully you got something from it that can help you out with your web pages. Talk to you later.